Hey YouTube, Red Eyes 115 here, bring you a deck review, kind of, sort of an archetype that we actually get in later on today, or it might already be out by the time I get done editing this video, called Truth Universe. But the archetype I'm about to review right now is called DDD or DD, and feel free to make this a drink game for every time I say DD. Now you can tell I'm recording this real late because I'm probably talking really soft and I don't even realize it. But anyway, I'm basically going to tell you like the cards I'm sleeping on in this, well, not in the box, but in this particular deck that we're getting, the DDDs, and what cards that I'm just like, we must run multiple copies of and spend all our gems on. But anyway, let's get into it. Now, one of the cards I'm kind of sleeping on really is DD Pandora. Now, yes, he is draw power for the deck, but only if you don't control no cards. And that's where she's asleep on me, because how DDDs work, or DD monsters work, you will always kind of be running something on your field, unless your opponent like Cosmic Cyclone you or something, because you're gonna be having these contracts out 24/7. So yeah, Pandora not gonna get her effect off that often. So to me, she's kind of like a hard sleep on. You can run her at 1 if you choose to, but for me, she's not in the deck. Now, another one that I'm like 50-50 on right now is DDD Ghost. Well, DD Ghost, sorry. Now, this card can help with your synchro plays, but I don't know. It's just like that banish part effect. Now, some of these cards do banish, like Swirl Slime. It will banish itself, and you need that to go into your fusion plays. But you have to banish Ghost to get that back. So, like right now, until I actually get hands-on with the deck, right now Ghost is like either a 1 or none of. And then another one that's like a sleeper for me, well, it's kind of like in the same situation as Ghost. Like, you will want this card, at least one copy of it, if you're a free-to-play player that don't have Cosmic or any other back row removal like Double Cyclone, because what he does is you can discard a card in your hand. He gains 500, then you can destroy one spell and trap card in the field. Meaning if your contracts are getting a bit expensive, you can pop them for free. Well, not free, you loosen a card in your hand. And at first I was sleeping on him because his first part of his face says you can spell summon him if you tribute a dragon and a fiend type in your hand or on the field. Now, the fiend part won't be easy because all of the current DD or DDD monsters we have are fiend type monsters, but we don't have any other dragons. Now granted, you can run Keeper of Dragon Magic, but his first effect is the only thing you might get off if you're at least running one copy of Poly, which, even though this is kind of a fusion archetype, it's good for synchro and Xyz too, but this is kind of your main Poly. So if you're running Keeper of Dragon Magic, you're only going to get its effect, well, its first part of its effect, because his other part of the effect says you need to, well, you can spell summon a card that's specifically listed on the fusions, and none of the fusions for DDDs that we're getting or have at the moment specifically list the DDD monster. So running Keeper of Dragon Magic is kind of pointless unless you're a free-to-play player. Then I say, yeah, rock 1 or 2 polys and go ahead and run Keeper if you don't have like 3 copies or 2 copies of Swirl Slime, because basically Swirl Slime is your poly. Running poly is kind of pointless, and also you also got the dark contract with the Swamp King. That's another poly for you. So polymerization, you kind of don't need to run this deck. So yeah, to me, DDD, Dragon King, Pin Dragon is either one of or none of. Now probably, since I'm in the free to play route and I'm probably either not gonna put money in this box or just a little bit, he's a hard one of to me. So yeah, And then on the next card we're looking at is DD Vice Typhon. Now that's the other reason why he's kind of a one-up for me, because granted, even though he's not that easy to get into, DD Vice Typhon make that a little bit easier. And plus, if he's in the deck, at least you can go into your DDD monsters that say, hey, I need a DDD monster, or two of them for Oblivion King Caesar, and let's see, another one too, yeah, and Dragonbane King Beowulf. You basically need to run them in the deck to get into them faster without having to use up any resources, but also having to synchro. So yeah, that's another reason why he's a whole one-of, so I don't have to waste resources. And with DD Typhon Vice script, when it's summoned, which is 2 tributes, except for a card I'm going to mention later on in this video, basically you can spell summon him for free. And then if Vice Typhon leaves the field, you get to go into a level 8 or higher DDD fusion monster from your extra deck by losing this card and another monster in your graveyard. So when this card leaves, you basically get to go into one of these monsters for free. Or at least the ones that list DD, because like I said, unless you already far into the game and you lost a lot of your DDD fusion monsters or your DDD synchro monsters, you're not gonna really go into many plays with this. But it's a good one of, maybe even two. No, I'm running that one because too high of a level, and kind of how I'm thinking of playing this deck, I'm not going to be running too many high attack point monsters to keep going. Basically, I'm going to be trying to fusion and synchro as fast as possible. Now we have a searcher in the deck, which I'm saying we're going to run 2 of at least. Dark Contract with the Gate. Now with these contract cards, you're paying 1,000, but the one that I'm literally also going to say we running no copies of is Forbidden Dark Contract with the Swamp King. This card makes it take 2,000. It basically does what this one does, but basically it lets you get this guy that I'm saying we run one of out for free, but his effects negated, meaning you can't get out your contracts. At least with his effect. And then you can do like the first one and spell summon a fusion monster from your extra deck. Use material from your hand or field. So yeah, no. Oh, but that's kind of close to what I wanted to do. But yeah, we're not running that one. But anyway, this is your searcher for the deck. It basically lets you during your main phase add a DD monster from your deck to your hand, which will help if you need to search out one of your swirl slimes and get your plays going to fusion summon faster. So yeah, I'm happy with that card. I will say run 2 or 3. And then you got your Dark Contract with the Swamp King. During your main phase, you can fusion summon one fiend type monster, one fiend type fusion monster. Now when I first read this card, I was thinking, is there any fusion monsters in Duel Links we can use in this deck? And the only one I can find is that Summon Skull fusion we had got, but you'll have to rock Summon Skull. So no, there isn't any other fiend type monsters besides the one we got in this box. But yeah, you can fusion summon one fiend type monster from your extra deck, use the monsters from your hand or field as materials. So yeah, this card is great because you can go into a fusion summon for free basically by using cards in your hand or your field during your main phase. The downside is during your standby phase, meaning main phase, standby, you take 1,000. That's the only thing that's gonna hurt about this card, that 1,000. That's why I also suggest you run the things like Double Cyclone, Cosmic Cyclone, basically anything that can remove back row, because basically your own cards are going to be hurting you. Now we got one of my favorite cards in the deck that can get you back in the game if you not doing really good at handling your contracts. Basically burn all your contracts. You can destroy as many of the contracts in your spell and trap card zone as possible and gain 1,000 for it. This card will be amazingly helpful for you. So just like that, I'm saying run 2 or 3 of this if you're definitely not gonna be able to handle the contracts. Cause trust me, I know I'm not gonna be able to. When I first get the cards for this deck, I'm probably gonna end up running multiples of this. Then we got DD Recruit. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, target any number of DD monsters or dark contracts in your graveyard. Add those cards to your hand, and you can only activate 1 DD per turn. DD Recruit per turn. So basically, let you recycle your resources back into the deck if your opponent just happens to have more cards than you on the field. Okay, then we got DD Reroll. Dark contract cards you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target up to 3 of your opponent's banished, of your other banished DD cards. This one's a 1. Like this one is a 1 or none for me, because I want to be able to pop my contracts. I really do, because I don't want to pay those points. No, this is like a 1 or none. Like, the only reason I'm saying you could possibly get away with running 1 of this is just because it recycles or banish resources. Sorry, like I said, I'm tired. Which will be most likely your swirl slime or anything that you have to use while it's in the graveyard. Because I believe this lets you also fuse it from the grave. Yeah, also best monsters in your graveyard. So yeah. So yeah, you can basically use that card to get your resources back that you use as fusion material for this card, but it's a one of. Then we got Dark Contract with Errors. Now this is one that I say is a 1 or 2 of. It's optional really, because what this one lets you do is basically negate the effects of all other face-up trap cards on the field. At least, wait, for the rest of this turn, even if this card leaves the field. Let me read this again real quick. Once per turn, if you control a DD monster, you can negate all trap cards effects on the field other than this card. For the rest of the turn, even if this card leaves the field, once per turn during your standby phase, take 1,000. Okay, so it is working like the way I think, but yeah, so you can negate things like your opponent's turn, they try to activate the navigation. You can activate this, navigation negate, they don't get the Dark Magician, and the circle don't go off as a response. So yeah, this card would be useful for the Dark Magician matchup, and just if you have to bump to a wall of D or any annoying back row that's a trap. Then we have Dark Contract with the Witch. You can send 1 DD or Dark Contract card from your hand to the graveyard, then target 1 card on the field, destroy it. You can only use this effect of Dark Contract with the Witch once per turn. All Fiend type monsters you control gain a stack. During your opponent's turn, only once per turn during your standby phase, take a stack. Okay, so like I was saying before with the Dark Magician matchup, this card can negate the navigation, and then if you're not able to get that far, you can ditch a DD monster or a Dark Contract and basically pop the circle to at least stop the bandits if you can't stop the navigation. So yeah, so far that's basically my opinion on the deck, like what monsters to run. Well, like I said, this is your poly, this is your poly, so you can go into these really easily. Now after going over these again, you might can kick him up to 2, but personally for me, he's a hard 1 of. Now, let me just go through the extra deck real quick. He does piercing damage, and then you can also destroy back row. So he might be another multiple one just because he's basically really easy to go into. Then also you can get rid of your annoying contracts. When you summon a DD monster, you can target one DD monster in your graveyard, spell summon it. Okay, so basically he can help you go into your synchro plays. So you're going to fuse something into him, use his effects, but some DD Night Howl, go into either Alexander. Oh no, that won't be enough because he's a level 2, right? No, he's level 3. So, well, he can help you with some synchro plays. You just have to run other synchros, but as you see, this is basically a full extra deck, except I can take out one extra copy of him, but that's besides the point. But if he destroys a card by battle that's in your own possession, from the card effect, you can get one dark contract card in your graveyard added to your hand. So you also recycle your contracts if you had to pop them because they was getting too expensive. Now honestly, this is my favorite one that we're getting, and I'm happy to add this considering that Duel Links has so little life points that they give you. Basically all your contracts become benefits with this one, and literally I say this is the one that you're gonna play the most, like off the back. Like go into this and go into another DDD monster, because basically every time your contract trying to make you pay their fee, this card will make you gain their damage as life points instead. Let's see. Okay, and Oblivion King is also good too. He basically allows you to throw back a contract on your field back to your hand. And if you do, you can pick one monster on your opponent's side of the field, which I'm basically saying target, and equip it to him, and he gains that monster's attack points. So you can really screw your opponent over with him, but he's going to be the hardest to get into considering he's going to take 2 of your DD monsters. But if the game be going on around, you can use your dark contracts to actually go into him a lot easier. Now let's see. Now this one's going to be fun, but basically what he wants you to do is have a full board of DDD monsters. I mean, you have to have either 3 different monsters from your extra deck or 2 different monsters in him just to get him to 6,000 attack. Now his other thing is you can target one DD monster in your graveyard and spell summon it. Let me see, what's the condition though? Okay, yeah, if you summon a DD monster, you can spell summon one from your graveyard for free. And then I believe he does the same as the first, but it looks like he has enough. Okay, yeah, he just can't summon himself. Okay, but yeah, that's basically the DDD cards we're getting, and the DD cards we're getting in Duel Links either today or later on today, depending on when, or they're already out, depending on when I get done editing this video. Now down here are cards that I would suggest adding to the deck if you're free to play, or just to give the deck a little boost. Red Sprinter is one of those just because he can't, when he's normal summon or special summon, and you control no other monsters, you can spell summon one level 3 or lower fiend type monster from your hand or graveyard, meaning he can get you into those big synchro plays really easily. Because let me see, yeah, he's a generic synchro, so you could go into your Sprinter and then he can special summon your DD Night Howl, and you got a level 7 synchro play right there. And if you already got him on the field, you can adjust this level and also make it to where you can go into your Gust King Alexander, or High Gust King Alexander. So Red Sprinter might be actually good for this deck. And now another card was looking at in the box was, well, it's not in the new box. This are all cards that we mainly have in Duel Links. Now I believe two of them that I'm gonna go over is actually in the box. And this one is Onboard Forward Ghost. During your main phase, you can spell summon this card and one level 4 lower fiend type monster from your hand. So yeah, this card alone gets you into synchro plays, but not the ones you're probably looking for, considering this is a level 2. And the two tuners we have are level 3 and level 2. Meaning that's the level 5 synchro play. And then we also have a level 4 synchro play. And we do have one level 4 synchro, so if you want to throw him into the mix, you can. So I probably already put a screenshot or a picture up editing me if you're actually rewatching through this while editing, of the synchro I'm actually thinking of. Now this right here is a trap card that is coming into our box, the Truth of Universe box, that's either out now once again or gonna be out later on today. Now Booby Trap E is a card that allows you to discard one card of your hand and set one continuous trap card from your hand or graveyard. Meaning if you had to pop one of these contracts because they was getting too expensive, or at least one of the continuous ones, like the one that negates your opponent's other traps, well, other traps on the field in general. And then also if you need to go ahead and get this one back that boosts your fiend type monsters, which is all of them in the deck, because as you can see, not too many of them have power. So you can discard a card and get it back for free. You just have to deal with the fee at the beginning of your next turn. Ugh. Oh, and the best thing is the card, the continuous trap that you get back from the grave, you can activate it that turn. Okay, and this is the one that I was like, yeah, that's hard one up. Now let me just give me a moment. I'm about to just look at the cards that I was also thinking of, because there was one more card in the box that I was like, this will be amazing. And hopefully editing me remembers to actually find a picture of it and put it up. Oh yeah, Sinister Your Zero. It's another continuous trap, meaning Booty Trap B can set it, but each turn a 1 level 5 or higher fiend type monster you normal summon can be summoned without tribute, meaning you can summon your Vice Typhon and your DDD Dragon King Pendragon for free. You don't have to tribute for them anymore. Also the same for Pandora down here. If you do choose to run her, you get to summon her for free. And if a fiend type monster that you would have to tribute summon for at level 5 or higher would be destroyed by a battle or card effect, you can destroy this card instead. So Sinister Your Zero is really an amazing card to actually run the deck, considering we already have 2 level 7 or higher that we actually considering running with level 5 or higher. And then I believe the last card that I was thinking of in this box of adding, oh no, it was in the box. Let me go back to Duel Links on my laptop real quick to look at the card. Okay, the other card I was thinking of was Trench Archfiend, which basically allows you to discard a fiend type monster, and if you do, this card gains 5% attack until the end. When this card you control is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target one of your abandoned start monsters, add that target to your hand. So if you use your DD Short Slime's second effect, or the effect of your Dark Contract with the Swamp Fusion summon from the graveyard, you can use Trench Archfiend's effect to actually get them back, like your material used for the fusion summon. And then also when this guy's banished, you can add the material back to the graveyard. So yeah, there's some synergy with Trench Archfiend and some of these DDD and DD monsters. But oh yeah, there was one more, but I just didn't have a copy of it in Legacy of, well, Link Evolution. And the other monster I was thinking of that would be okay for the deck was Wandering King Whirlwind, which was a card that we recently got in Duel Links. Just let me put how to attain. Oh, from the tag duel event that actually ended recently. And his effect was if you control a fiend type tuner with 1500 or less attack, you can special summon this card. If you attempt this, you cannot special summon monsters from your X deck for the rest of this turn, except synchro monsters. So yeah, he's already trying to set us up for one of our Gus King Alexanders. And he's a level 4. Let's see. Oh, and then you can banish him to add one fiend type tuner with 1500 or less from the grave. So nice. So basically, yeah, he basically gets you back your ghost or your night hound after going through the process of synchro summoning. So you will probably bring back night hound since it will get you into Alexander. Yeah, like I really think night hound will be our main tuner, so you probably will want to run him at 2 or 3. Because if you get night hound back, you'll be able to go into your Gus High King Alexander. So yeah, he might be a hard 3 of. Hard 3 or 2. Haven't decided yet. But as you see right now, he's at 2 for me. But anyway, I think that's the end of this video. Now I will be making a TCG build of this deck later on. And I'm also going to be starting a new series on this channel called TCG versus Duel Links, where I would make a TCG build of a deck, well, a Duel Links build of this deck, and put it into Link Evolution or Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, and basically play against players with a Duel Links build of this deck. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Comment, rate, subscribe, and now I see you when I finally get some sleep. I'm out. Peace.